charity account for you, or maybe go door knocking asking for donations to bury your family. No, we don't want that. Now, let me give you a few examples for why life insurance is so critically important. These are examples that I have encountered as a licensed life insurance agent. A young married couple in their early 30s with three children under the age of 10. Because the children are young, the wife is a stay at home mom. So the husband is the breadwinner. He pays the mortgage, car note, private school tuition, and other expenses the family has. Everyone is happy and they're living their best lives to the fullest. But one day, the husband gets sick and has an unexpected heart attack and dies. Now, question: where's the money going to come from to pay off the mortgage, car note, private school tuition? And how's the mother going to make it financially? And don't forget the emotional toll she'll have to deal with, in addition to calming her children down. Now, if he had a term life insurance policy, the mother would be able to make it financially. Why? Term life insurance is a policy that provides coverage for a set period of time. Usually it's purchased as a 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, but most commonly as a 20-year or 30-year period. Some people call it temporary insurance because it either ends after a period, a specific period, or is in many cases it converts to an expensive 1 year policy which renews annually. And remember, he's 20 or 30 years older, so it's going to cost a little more. Now, however, term insurance is the more cheaper form of life insurance, which is why you can buy a large amount at an affordable cost. So, in our example, if the husband had a $350,000 term policy, the wife would be able to either pay down those large debts or pay them off and have money to get things together until she can procure employment. And if he gets it while he's healthy, he could possibly qualify for a $500,000 policy or $1 million policy. So I always tell my clients this: insurance is an act of love. And you may be wondering, why would you make a statement like that? Here's why. You love your family so much that you don't want to leave them financially devastated. In 20 or 30 years, he may not have a need for that much insurance because the kids may have left home for college. The mortgage and large bills are either paid off or paid down. Now, at that time, he may not need that much coverage unless he just wants to leave that money to his family as a part of his legacy. Now, at some point, he may just want to make sure he procures a small permanent policy so that when the affordable term policy ends, he'll already have insurance for final expenses at hand. Now, this is one way to protect the family income and to deal with debt after the loss of a breadwinner. Let's look at example two. A mother wanted to buy a life insurance policy for her daughter who is in her early 20s. The daughter is a single mother with a 2-year-old child. The boyfriend also attended the meeting. He was also the child's father. So now, talking to the grandmother for the child, I said, I recommend a $150,000 term life insurance policy because if your daughter dies, you will need to take care of your grandchild. And this $150,000 would help you defray the cost of caring for the child for the next 16 to 18 years. And let's not forget saving for tuition costs. This money will give you a start until you can get things together. And do you really have the money that you would need to care for the child right now? Well, the boyfriend chimed in, the baby's father. He said something like, "Oh, I'll take care of my own son. She won't have to do that." And I could tell he was a little bothered based on his demeanor and how he behaved. And I could see why the grandmother really wanted insurance for her daughter. So she decides on a $25,000 whole life policy instead. Now, I know you can't guess what happened because it was really sad. 2 weeks after the purchase, the boyfriend kills the baby's mother and then he kills himself. Now, this was extremely sad, and the grandmother now is left with caring for her grandchild. And to make matters worse, as if they couldn't already be worse, the child's mother did not tell the truth on her application. So the claim for the $25,000 was denied by the insurance company. Now, in an upcoming episode, we will talk about the dangers of being untruthful on a life insurance application. Please note that the application for insurance is an offer to enter into a contract. Now, there's no contract right now because there has to be an investigation first before it becomes a contract. Every parent has the right and should purchase insurance for their children. You don't need the child's permission if you purchase the insurance before the child is 15 years old. Let's look at example 3. A couple decided to buy a life insurance policy after the death of a sibling. Prior to that loss, they never thought about the need of life insurance, but they saw what happened when their brother passed. They saw the hardship of not having money to bury their brother without insurance. And what was really hard, the kids were left without a father and no money. And the wife lost her husband. Now she's left with 4 children to care for without any financial support. Since term insurance is affordable, you can buy a large amount at an affordable cost. This couple decided on a term policy. So they each purchased a $100,000 30-year term policy. Now, this is good that they purchased insurance. They saw the need for it. And they paid in their premiums faithfully and paid into it for 10 years. Unfortunately, the husband died in an automobile accident. The wife was extremely upset, and understandably so. However, they didn't have any children. So when I delivered the insurance check, I explained that perhaps she may want to consider using some of the proceeds to upgrade or to better her life. In other words, she may want to consider moving out of Section 8 housing and maybe using some of it as a down payment on a condo or a small home. Since she didn't have any financial education, well, she didn't take me up on that advice. Instead, she bought a brand new Lexus. And when she came to my office, I will admit I was surprised that she chose to remain living in her current housing situation and opted for a luxury vehicle, and now she's going shopping with her sister for jewelry. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not the purpose of life insurance. Shopping and cars and other vices. So I can clearly see the need for financial education, and it is paramount. Now, we briefly discuss term life insurance. The other more common policies are whole life and universal life. Those are permanent policies. We're going to get into them in great detail because those policies have saving features and other benefits that are not associated with term insurance. Now, I want to make sure you have a checking and savings account because most insurance companies require your payment be automatically withdrawn from a checking or savings account each month. And most insurance companies will not accept debit or credit card payments. Thank you for listening to my first episode. I really appreciate it. Please tune in next week and we will continue our discussion on life insurance. I have more examples and tips to share. This is Karla signing out. Until next week.